The Kansas City Chiefs are entering a pivotal and transformational offseason, burdened by intensifying pressure following their recent Super Bowl disappointment. Falling short of a historic three-peat has magnified scrutiny around every organizational move, from free agency signings and draft day decisions to intricate contract negotiations. With each tweet, draft board shuffle, and roster recalibration under a microscope, the very trajectory of the franchise now hangs in the balance. As Kansas City confronts these challenges head-on, fans and analysts alike brace for a high-stakes offseason marked by bold decisions and dramatic shifts, changes that could reshape the identity of this storied franchise. Let's dive into some of the most significant developments, strategic moves, and contract pivots aimed at retooling the Chiefs for another Super Bowl run. But first, if you find value in this content, please take a moment to leave a like. It's a simple gesture that greatly supports our channel and helps keep content like this coming. We appreciate you. After the fall, responding to Super Bowl LVIC's defeat following a season of unmet expectations and a crushing Super Bowl 59 loss to the Philadelphia Eagles, exacerbated by an underperforming offensive line, the Chiefs are now faced with the urgent mandate to reinforce their roster. Concerns grew louder when veteran edge rusher Charles Omenihu, 28, posted the cryptic message, "Know your worth," on Twitter. This subtle declaration ignited speculation that the talented pass rusher could soon test free agency, further exposing the Chiefs' vulnerabilities at the position. Omenihu, who signed a 2-year, $16 million 0-cents deal, missed a large portion of the 2024 season after suffering a torn ACL during the 2023 AFC title game. He made his return in Week 13 versus the Raiders, contributing modestly across the final 6 games. His postseason production, including 9 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles, and a sack, added some momentum, but advanced analytics paint a more sobering picture. According to Pro Football Focus PFF, Omenihu earned a pass rush grade of 60.1, ranking 105th out of 211 edge defenders, and a run defense grade of 63.5, 83rd overall. Valued at approximately $7,300,000 0 cents over 4 years, or $1,800,000 0 cents annually per Spotrac, his price tag could still be steep given the inconsistency. If he commands a similar contract elsewhere, Kansas City may be forced to fill that void through the NFL draft, Kelsey's emotional crossroads, and a strategic pivot at tight end. The Chiefs' devastating Super Bowl loss has done more than expose schematic flaws. It's reopened internal conversations about succession, particularly at the tight end position. A visibly emotional Travis Kelce recently appeared on the New Heights podcast, further underscoring the uncertainty surrounding his future as he approaches the twilight of a Hall of Fame with 13-year career. With Kelsey's potential retirement looming, the Chiefs face mounting pressure to protect their offensive edge. While many draft analysts expect Kansas City to address the offensive line with their No. 31 pick, Jordan Plosher of PFF proposes a different strategy: invest in Kelsey's successor now. Enter Colston Loveland, the Michigan tight end who averaged 2.67 yards per route run and earned a stellar 90.6 PFF receiving grade in 2024. That level of conviction demands several assumptions: that Mahomes sustains elite form deep into his late 30s, that the front office artfully navigates fiscal landmines, and that the ever-shifting landscape of the NFL doesn't veer into chaos over the next decade. But here's the real story beneath the surface. The true takeaway from this firestorm of debate: Chiefs Kingdom is divided, and that division is a direct reflection of a deeper truth: a rising anxiety about whether this dynasty can endure. When you win at the highest level, a different pressure takes root. Not just the expectation to win, but to repeat, to surpass, to sustain. Every coaching decision, every roster cut, every play call is now under the microscope. The coaching staff must continue innovating offensively within shrinking fiscal confines. The front office faces agonizing choices: which stars to extend, which legends to let go, and the players themselves must bear the burden of dynasty expectations while knowing that championship windows are fleeting, fragile, and closing faster than most realize. The Brady comparison serves both as inspiration and warning. Yes, 7 rings is the gold standard, a career of historic longevity and triumph, but even Brady required optimal rosters, organizational genius, and some fortunate timing across 2 franchises. His late career run with Tampa Bay proves both sides right. You can win into your 40s if you're great enough, but you must be surrounded by a championship infrastructure, or it doesn't matter. Y'all better strap in, because what I'm about to reveal is going to send shockwaves through the entire NFL universe. This ain't your run-of-the-mill locker room chatter. This is championship-tier drama that's got me fired up and locked in. Stay with me until the very end, because I'm dropping some cold, hard truth that every single Chiefs fan needs to hear. Drop a W in the comments if you still believe in the kingdom. Drop an L if you think the dynasty is slipping, and don't forget to smash that subscribe button while you're at it. Now listen closely, because what we've got brewing in the NFL right now has more plot twists than a primetime thriller. And I'm here to break it all down for you, step by jaw-dropping step. See, I've been around this league long enough to know when somebody's blowing smoke. And right now, Miami is lighting up the sky with delusional fireworks. There's a certain wide receiver down in South Beach who's been flapping his gums like he's already got next year's Lombardi trophy sitting on his nightstand. Now, don't get me wrong, confidence is essential in this league. You need swagger to survive, but there's a fine line between confidence and full-blown delusion. And after hearing what this dude had to say, I started wondering if too much Florida sun is frying some brain cells. Let me remind y'all who we're talking about. The Kansas City Chiefs. Not just any football team, the reigning titans of the NFL. A dynasty built on excellence. 3 consecutive Super Bowl appearances, back-to-back titles, a blueprint for sustained dominance. This empire wasn't built on hype, it was forged through brilliant drafting, tactical free agency moves, and a championship culture that breeds winners. Since 2020, no team, let me repeat, no team has reached the mountaintop more consistently than Kansas City. While others flapped their jaws about greatness, the Chiefs were out there proving it, week after week. Players have come and gone, cap space has tightened, critics have chirped, yet through it all, Kansas City kept stacking wins and raising banners. That's the dividing line in this league, the difference between pretenders and certified contender. But apparently some folks got amnesia when it comes to recognizing greatness. Now let's talk about this former Chiefs receiver. Yeah, the one who used to catch passes from Patrick Mahomes and bask in the glow of championship culture. He knew what it felt like to be part of a machine that wins when the lights are brightest. And now, he's in Miami chirping like the Dolphins are about to steamroll the AFC like it's 1972 all over again. Again, I respect belief, I respect grit. But belief without results? That's just noise. Let's not forget, the Miami Dolphins haven't won a single playoff game since the year 2000. Let that marinate. That's before smartphones, before social media, before half the league was even born. While Kansas City's been hoarding Lombardi trophies like collector's items, Miami's been stockpiling heartbreaks and early offseason tea times, but none of that seems to matter when a podcast mic is hot and a platform's waiting. This guy boldly declared that the Dolphins are taking the AFC, not contending, not making a run, taking it. Like the AFC is a clearance rack they can just scoop up at checkout. The nerve, the unfiltered audacity. You're telling me a franchise that hasn't sniffed playoff success in 2 decades is just going to waltz through a conference that includes juggernauts like Kansas City, Baltimore, and Cincinnati? Please. That's not confidence, that's a fantasy. But wait, it gets even wilder. This same wideout had the gall to say his quarterback is the best in the league. Let me say that again, the best in the entire NFL. Now, I've heard hot takes, but this one had me checking if I was watching a comedy sketch. We talking about the same QB who's never won a playoff game? The one with more concussion scares than playoff completions? The one quarterbacking a team that's made a habit of letting fans down when it counts? Meanwhile, Patrick Mahomes, the generational talent, sits comfortably in Kansas City with 2 Super Bowl rings, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, and a regular season MVP. He's redefining the quarterback position while others are still trying to get through wild card weekend. But sure, South Beach Fantasyland says otherwise. What we're witnessing isn't just trash talk. It's a textbook case of emotional overcompensation. This receiver left greatness in Kansas City, and now he's trying to convince the world and himself that he's somehow upgraded. It's like walking away from the Patriots during their dynasty and claiming the Jets are the next Super Bowl favorites. Let's be honest, this exposes a deeper flaw in the mindset of certain players today. There's a vast difference between bold belief and blinding delusion, between speaking like a champ and proving you're one. The Chiefs didn't become a dynasty on accident. They didn't trip into greatness. This was a masterclass in long-term vision, built by a front office that knows how to construct a roster, coached by a legend who's been orchestrating elite football for decades. Andy Reid, he's not guessing. He's executing with precision drawn from decades of gridiron genius. And Patrick Mahomes, he's not just a quarterback. He's a phenomenon. A once-in-a-generation talent with nerves of steel and vision that cuts through defenses like a surgeon's blade. When the stakes are sky-high, Mahomes rises. He's ice-cold under pressure, and he thrives where others crumble. Let's not forget Travis Kelce either, the most consistent and lethal tight end in the game. Mr. Reliable, a walking mismatch, the heartbeat of the offense. For years, this man has been Patrick Mahomes' ultimate safety valve, a clutch playmaker in the tensest moments, a leader in the locker room, and the embodiment of everything a championship-caliber team demands. With recent late-round picks like Noah Gray 2021 and Jared Wiley 2024 failing to become impact players, drafting a dynamic pass-checking talent like Loveland could offer both immediate production and long-term insurance for life after Kelsey. It's a calculated move, one that aligns with Kansas City's legacy of bold but forward-thinking risk. The Ravens with Lamar Jackson. These are fully armed contenders, carefully constructed around their QBs and optimized to expose every flaw in the Chiefs' blueprint. Even the recent Super Bowl loss to the Philadelphia Eagles offered a preview of what's to come. Mahomes performed brilliantly, but depth issues and superior tactical adjustments from the Eagles exposed cracks in the armor. Cracks that will only widen as cap pressures intensify. This is a huge positive, indicating there's no behind-the-scenes drama or tension. Smith's presence is a clear sign he wants to remain in Kansas City long-term and is committed to preparing for the 2025 NFL season alongside his brothers in the trenches. Financially, skipping camp could have cost him around $100,000, 0 cents, in fines. Pocket change when compared to a potential $22, 0 cents plus million per year contract. Still, his attendance speaks volumes about his character and priorities, according to Pete Sweeney of Arrowhead Pride. While there's no certainty a deal gets finalized this week, both parties seem motivated to find a resolution. That's promising. Let's hope it gets done. Bottom line, Smith is leading with his actions. No theatrics, just focus, and that deserves respect. Pay the man. Next, Chris Jones, the self-proclaimed CEO of Sack Nation, also spoke with the media today and praised Trey's presence, acknowledging how much energy he brings to the offensive line room. He even joked that he's glad Smith isn't going about his contract situation the same way he did last year, drawing laughs from reporters. For those who recall, Jones held out of training camp, skipped week 1, and watched from the stands as the Chiefs lost to the Lions. That holdout ultimately netted him a restructured one-year deal with incentives, but not the massive extension he wanted at the time. That all changed after the season, of course, when Jones signed a record-setting deal to become the NFL's highest-paid defensive tackle. Hopefully, Trey Smith follows in those footsteps, minus the holdout. Jones also shared that his commitment to OTAs and Minicamp this offseason stems from the sting of that Super Bowl defeat. It wasn't just the loss itself, but the way it happened. Standing atop the mountain, only to fall short. Now he's more motivated than ever to help lead the charge back to the top. With the team reaching 3 straight Super Bowls and winning 2, this loss reignited their fire. Chris is especially excited about the defensive line's versatility this season. Many of their guys, himself included, along with Charles Omenihu and Mike Dana, can line up both inside and out. That kind of flexibility is invaluable. He also praised rookie DT Omar Norman Lott, calling him an athletic guy who will be ready to roll once training camp is over. No more baby fat, in CJ's words. Notably, Norman Lott is the only Chiefs draft pick who is yet to sign his rookie deal. But don't panic, the delay is largely due to a new precedent. 2 other second-round picks received fully guaranteed contracts, a first in league history. Norman Lott was selected later in the round, so it's unlikely he receives the same, and since he's actively practicing and participating, his unsigned status isn't a concern. Chris also took a moment to recognize second-year lineman Kingsley Suamataia, expected to start at left guard. According to Jones, Kingsley is progressing well, adjusting to the interior position after transitioning from tackle. That's a big development for the offensive line's future. Speaking of linemen, newly signed defensive tackle Jerry Tillery, formerly of the Chargers, shared his excitement about teaming up with Chris Jones instead of facing him. He said, having CJ command double teams allows others to play freely, and he's soaking up all the knowledge he can from the all-pro veteran. Tillery praised the Chiefs' high standards, competitive practices, and championship mindset, saying that's why he's here to contribute to a winning culture. On the topic of standout performers, rookie third-round corner Nicario Nick Williams had another impressive play today, securing an interception during team drills. Linebacker Brandon George, an undrafted free agent with an elite relative athletic score of 9.98, also notched a pick, showing that raw athleticism and instincts are translating well on the field. It's the beginning of something much deeper. What we're seeing now is about far more than football. It's about legacy, longevity, relationships, and decisions that keep grown men awake at night. The Kansas City Chiefs have been the gold standard of the NFL for nearly a decade, and one of the primary architects of that success, right alongside Patrick Mahomes, has been number 87, the heartbeat of their offense, the safety valve in every crisis. But when whispers start about retirement, when a legend begins to publicly float the idea of year-by-year thinking, that's when you know the foundation is beginning to tremble. Let me paint the full picture. This isn't just about a tight end nearing the end of his career. This is about the potential end of an era, one that redefined dominance in professional football. We're talking about a duo, Mahomes and Kelsey, that has tortured defensive coordinators, rewritten record books, and shattered playoff expectations year after year. But now there's hesitation in the air. Now we're hearing words like final stretch, thinking about the future, 1 year at a time. And if you know the game the way I do, you know what that really means. The countdown has started. See, when a warrior like Travis Kelce, someone who's defined consistency, toughness, and postseason excellence, starts talking about the mental toll, that's not just idle speculation. That's the internal conversation beginning to spill into public view. Let's rewind the tape to that podcast interview. The one most fans dismissed as harmless banter. But I listened closer, and what I heard, it wasn't just a veteran giving a polished answer. It was a man staring down the final chapters of a Hall of Fame career, wondering how many more pages he truly wants to write. And that's why Chiefs fans should be concerned, because this isn't just any player. This is Patrick Mahomes' most trusted weapon, his red zone assassin, his third down lifesaver. When the pressure is suffocating and the moment demands a play, Mahomes looks one way, toward 87. And Kelsey delivers, always has, until maybe now. Because here's the truth. Last season, the numbers told a different story. Production dipped. Red zone dominance wasn't as automatic. Explosiveness wasn't quite the same. Was it age, offensive evolution, fatigue, or was it something deeper, like a man already mentally wrestling with what life after football might look like? Let's not forget, Father Time is undefeated. And while Kelsey still has flashes of greatness, the question isn't, can he still play? It's, does he still want to? Because there's a brutal reality in this game. The hits feel heavier when you know the end is near. The mental weight becomes crushing, and suddenly every yard you fight for becomes more expensive, more taxing. If Travis Kelce steps away soon, it reconfigures the entire Chiefs offense. For years, defenses have been forced to game plan around the Mahomes-Kelce connection. Double teams, bracket coverage, entire schemes designed to neutralize 87 over the middle. If that element disappears, defensive coordinators get aggressive. The field compresses. Mahomes is forced to rely on unproven weapons in the biggest moments. It's not just a personnel shift. It's a seismic tactical shift. And it doesn't end there. There's also the contract situation, a variable every fan needs to factor in. When a player of Kelsey's stature enters a contract year, it's never just about dollars. It's about what's left to prove, what matters most, and what kind of legacy you want to leave behind. Let me tell you something that gets lost in the noise. Championship windows are fragile. They don't slam shut all at once. They creak, they shift. And then, without warning, they're gone. The Chiefs' core, Mahomes, Kelsey, Chris Jones, has carried this franchise to greatness. But believing it'll last forever? That's a mistake history has punished time and time again. Y'all better brace yourselves, because what I'm about to reveal is about to send seismic waves across the entire NFL landscape. This isn't your run-of-the-mill locker room chatter. This is high-stakes, championship-tier drama that's got me fired up and ready to break it all down for you. Watch this video till the very end. I'm dropping game-changing insight that every true Chiefs fan needs to hear. Drop a W in the comments if you're still riding with the Dynasty. Drop an L if you think the Chiefs are losing their grip. And don't forget to slam that subscribe button. It's about to get real. Now, listen up, because what's unfolding in the NFL right now has more plot twists than a primetime thriller. And I'm here to dissect it layer by layer. I've been around this league long enough to recognize smoke from fire. And right now, there's some wild delusion coming out of Miami that's got the entire football world buzzing. Let me paint the picture. There's a certain wide receiver down in South Beach running his mouth like he's already locked in a Super Bowl ring for next season. And while I'll never knock a man for having confidence in this league, confidence is currency, there's a fine line between belief and straight-up fantasy. And what I heard this week had me questioning whether someone in Florida's been standing in the sun too long without a helmet. Let me remind y'all who we're talking about here. The Kansas City Chiefs. This isn't just some scrappy playoff team. This is the reigning empire, the gold standard. A franchise that's appeared in 3 straight Super Bowls, captured back-to-back titles, and redefined what it means to build a sustainable dynasty. They didn't luck into greatness. They engineered it. Through elite drafting, strategic acquisitions, and a culture rooted in grit, discipline, and execution. Since 2020, nobody, and I mean nobody, has touched the summit more than Kansas City. While other franchises talk a big game, the Chiefs play it and win it. They've weathered roster turnover, salary cap gymnastics, and the weight of massive expectations. And yet, when the lights shine brightest, they deliver. From top-tier veterans to rising rookies, the Chiefs minicamp is already proving to be a blend of business, intensity, and hunger for another title run. During today's team drills, both Noel Williams and Brandon George hauled in interceptions, continuing their impressive offseason momentum. Safety Chamery Connor added to the defensive highlight reel with a superb pass breakup. However, it wasn't all defense dominating. Cornerback Christian Fulton was in tight coverage on Justin Ross, but Ross elevated and high-pointed the ball over him for a spectacular grab. Similarly, wideout Jason Brownlee made a contested catch over safety Brian Cook, showcasing the offensive playmaker's ability to win reps. And this, right here, is only the beginning of what may become the most explosive conversation in modern Chiefs history. So now it's your turn. Drop your honest take in the comments below. How many rings will Mahomes win before it's over? Fortifying the interior, a power play in the trenches. Beyond tight end concerns, the Chiefs must confront another critical issue, the offensive interior. Starting right guard, Trey Smith is expected to hit free agency, and with substantial salary already devoted to Creed Humphrey and Joe Thuney, general manager Brett Veach faces a defining decision. Rather than re-signing Smith at a projected annual figure of $20.00, $22 million, ESPN's Matt Bowen suggests an alternative. Pursue Zack Martin, the 9-time Pro Bowler and 7-time first-team All-Pro. At 6'4", 315 bowls, Martin remains one of the NFL's most dominant guards. Despite missing time last season due to a right ankle injury, he posted a 93.7% pass block win rate, ranking 15th among all guards. A trio of Martin, Thuney, Humphrey would bring unmatched interior firepower, 15 combined Pro Bowls, and 10 first-team All-Pro selections, forming a wall of elite protection in front of Patrick Mahomes. Despite spending his entire career in Dallas, Martin could be swayed by the evolving Cowboys landscape, including the recent departure of Tyron Smith. Financially, while his previous deal averaged over $18 million annually, current market conditions suggest Martin could be signed on a 1-year deal around $9,100,000, a cost-fluid and strategic upgrade compared to re-signing Smith. Thank you guys. See you next video.